Hey everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Melissa. So if you haven't read The Cured or Provalia, and there'll probably be a couple of spoilers for the 40th day, but nothing like last time. So if you haven't read the 40th day, you're probably still okay to listen to this one. So Melissa was one of the original Cured that Frank and Ella gave medicine to. She is like Ricky. She is named after a family friend. Um, One of the first, or the first. Ricky and Melissa are a couple in real life, which is also why I ended up having them be a couple in the book. Um, she is a postal worker, and ostensibly probably one of the more useful in a survival sense members of the group because of being a postal worker. So, her history as a postal worker lets her find her way around and help the group find their way around. In So remember that except for Henry, none of them were well when they went to Phil's camp. So he had only been there the one time, right? It was Dave's camp. It was not his. He was going with them, so he didn't know where he was either. So she is the only member of the group that kind of knows where they are and where things are. Um, and that's kind of a big deal. And I was going to talk about this with the setting video, but I'll talk about it now too, because we kind of went over that already. One of the ways that I gave myself away when I was trying to make the setting, anywhere in the world, is that I talked about the roads being kind of gone after 8 years. Now, people who live in warmer climates probably thought, what the heck are you talking about? 8 years, no problem. Unless it got flooded out, it's probably going to be okay. Well, up here, our roads go through a lot of frost heaves, and there are still a lot of rural areas where there's not even tar still, it's just gravel. And 8 years is actually quite a long time for our roads up here to not be repaired at all. So there would be, and that's what I was thinking of when I was writing it, was our climate up here. I don't know if you guys have seen, is a while ago now, and I don't even know if it's still airing on the Discovery Channel, which, to be honest, I don't even know, is there a Discovery Channel anymore? I'm not sure. But there was this show called Life After People, and it's actually really interesting because it shows how stuff we make or use would break down. I don't remember them doing an episode on roads, but for a lot of, I've done so many library trips and searches and things about how things break down in general. It's really, really interesting about how quickly things break down, and that may be just me that I find that fascinating because I studied that in school. I was an anthropology major and did a lot of archaeology classes, and what we leave behind is so fascinating to me. Anyhow, so Melissa would kind of know how to get them to not necessarily the city, but some kind of hub where there are likely to be more people. So that's why she's a postal worker um, in this. Um, you find out later on in the 40th day that she um, was tasked by the military to start evacuating people. Like, it was her job to bring evacuation orders to people with a military attachment to come and force people into quarantine. So that's kind of her backstory, and It's also, I think, why she waits so long to tell her backstory. Everybody's kind of at that point revealed who they are and where they're from. Even Ricky, who basically tells somebody, I can't even remember which character at this point, like, I don't need to hear your backstory. It's all the same. We've all experienced the same thing. Even he has told his backstory and she still hasn't. So I think for her, she feels some guilt at forcing these people together, even though she couldn't have known, how things were going to turn out. That's something she carries with her. So I also, when I created her, I thought that originally, before I wrote her backstory about her being in quarantine, I was trying to figure out how Phil would be collecting all these people, aside from running around with his gang basically and picking people up. Like, how would he start gathering infected people to put in his fences? And I thought a postal worker might be wandering around because they lost their stuff while they were going through their daily route. It just would have been the trigger, because work is a stressor. That they would just kind of be around in the area and he would have found her, as she was trying to deliver things and had snapped. But later on, when I wrote her backstory, obviously that's not how, but that was one of the methods of thinking when I was originally writing this group, was how specifically each of these people ended up in Phil's camp. So that was why she did. Um, for her as a character, she was meant to be, so if Vincent is the conscience and Ricky is the humor and Henry's kind of the heart, Melissa is the spine. She's the courage of the group. She is smart, she's tough, she wants to be safe among people, but she also knows that this city is not treating them the way that they would in normal times. She knows that they're being treated badly, and she knows that Phil is still out there, and she doesn't know if she agrees with Henry on vengeance, but she knows that he can't be allowed to continue the way that he is. So that's why she goes along. It's not so much, so Henry is very driven by vengeance. Melissa is driven more by practicality. Like Ricky, she would be willing to give up her vengeance on Phil if it meant she and her friends could live freely, but she knows that he won't stop doing this to other people. So that's why she chooses to go along and help Henry. Um, and she encourages him basically, like she's wholly on his side to get rid of him. I think that's it. Oh, there's the the bear scene in the 40th day. So, do I think it's a little silly? Yes, I do think it's a little silly, but um, the fact that she bites the bear back, I thought I wanted somebody who would struggle with what they'd done while they were infected, but realize that there was strength in that kind of recklessness and that kind of courage. And so that was her kind of taking that experience and using it for something better. So I think I did a better job of it later on in the next series, when uh, Neil Neil ends up biting somebody to stop them, and he freaks out about it. because it's scary to him. He thinks that he's regressing, and Elijah tells him, no, you're not regressing. You're not going to go back to that. But the bear scene was kind of the start of that. I wanted her to use what had happened to her as a way to get out of a bad situation. So that's where the bear thing came from. All right. So, what's next? Next time, next time we talk about Frank. And I got a lot to say about Frank. So I will see you tomorrow.